What is up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to look at the best champions in 619 in every role, and as always as well, I'm going to be sticking timestamps down in the description for roles so you can skip to ones if you want to do it that way. Before we start, remember there is still a giveaway on if you want to enter that, and I'm also thinking of doing a Q&A for my birthday, which is on Friday, but it'll probably release on Thursday, so it'd be awesome if you could all leave me some questions in the comments. Thumbs up the ones you want me to answer, whether it's like what my day looks like now or how horrible growing up with Foxtrot was, whatever you guys like. Now, we normally always start these videos with the biggest changes, and I think this patch is going to be in the jungle. It's not really like the two that have changed at the top as much, I guess, but there are so many good junglers right now, it's insane. Basically like a set of 10 or something that dominate the rest, like Evelynn, Nidalee, Wukong, Shaco, Elise, Lee Sin, Kha'Zix. Just a few examples, like by far the most popular and successful at the moment in 619. Now, junglers tend to have two jobs now though, right? Engage and tank or kill stuff, and so number 2 is going to be split into those two parts. Our engage and tank stuff is going to be Zac, and sadly you can actually still kill stuff pretty easily, especially if you build damage. Long range ganks and like engage means you can pick good fights, but you're also the dive king. Like how most people at high elo actually win games on Zac so easily with him is they just dive. Basically you gank and you get ahead, then you group and you dive from out of sight, like over a wall or something like that from Fog of War. Teams don't really group fast enough in the game like to match you, so it means you can easily catch like 3 under a tower while the other 2 are farming side lanes or something. You go into your passive after you've tanked it, and it's just really easy. Except maybe like an Amumu, I think you're probably the tankiest champion left that packs a serious punch as well. Graves is going to be the damage part for us, and he's not really going to show up on stat websites as a high win rate most of the time because a lot of people play him and they do terribly. Your burst is ridiculous though, you can easily one-shot people, your sustained damage is good as well, plus actual like healing over the fight with lifesteal makes him super hard to kill. It's really like lifesteal plus the armor and magic resist that he gets from his E, like 3 stats, right? 120 by the way of each are rank 5, which is insane. You can easily build full damage but still kind of be hard to kill. That is the problem really. You've like a good clear in the jungle, ganks are decent, team fighting is pretty good. You're just very solid all around, but personally if I was doing like a top 5 or something, I'd have Graves at number 3 and Zac at number 2, just because Graves I think is harder to play. Anyway, number 1 is going to be Skarner, and nope, I'm really not kidding, this guy is insane. He's been floating around for a long time at the top, but finally I think I can safely say he's number 1. You have an insane amount of damage, you're tanky, you have stuns, and generally just being like annoying as balls, kind of like a Singe to be honest. There are 2 versions right now, and that is why he's actually number 1 for me. So there's like the damage carry, warrior, triforce, Sterix and stuff. If you catch someone in your E stun, then they're basically dead. Honestly, your Sheen burst is more than enough with all of that AD. The other side is the tank carry, so Cinderhulk, triforce, deadmans and stuff like that. Like still good damage, but it's more sustained damage now, not burst. Instead of the burst though, you get to be super tanky. Being able to do both of these and adapt means like no matter what kind of player you actually are, you can find a good fit for you whether you want to tank and engage or whether you want to kill stuff. It also means you can adapt to both if you're good at Skarner, depending on the game, if you're ahead or behind, like what your team comp is like. Like personally, I'm not the best at Skarner, so I go Cinderhulk. It's way more forgiving, and if you mess up then you're probably not going to die for it, to be honest. Like early game is pretty meh no matter what build you're going to go for. It's a lot like a Jinx actually, I think. I don't know, like a speed up, a stun, the ultimate pull thingy, good clear, damage, shield, like pretty stacked kit if you ask me. Now let's go to the mid lane. Next is pretty similar to the jungle, a lot of good stuff hanging around at the moment, but there are 2 that kind of stand out a bit more than the rest. Vel'Koz is number 2 for me, at least. Like never that popular, you can't really just pick up and play him, but he has everything you want though, like long range poke and a one-shot combo. You can't really get close to him, and I think that's the big thing actually. You get near a Vel'Koz and he'll knock you up, combo you, and you're dead. He has a good lane phase, a good team fight, but most effective early-ish, like early half of the game. Like I think that's where he really shines. Nobody really has an answer to your damage yet and can survive it. Like at least late game there's more chance to dive onto him or eat his ult, I guess, and live as a tank. For me, ranked is a bit of a crap fest, and Vel'Koz can actually carry even the worst teams from high range because he doesn't have to get close to the enemy team to actually kill them, and that is a big thing. It's kind of like a no risk but high reward playstyle. Annie is going to come back to be number 1 for me overall at every elo. I know I trigger people every time I talk about Annie, like how easy she is, but come on, she is really easy to play and have an impact with. Someone like Yasuo, Vel'Koz, even Ahri maybe, you have to aim your stuff and at least try to do something. Annie, you're going to press your R, Q, W, E, and Tibbers will do the rest for you. There's still a decent amount I think you can do on top of the basics, but it's just so easy to have an impact in the game and actually carry. While she is still strong, there's like a massive unfair advantage over every other mid laner because you don't really have to do that much to be as effective as the others. Your lane phase is kind of straightforward and strong though at the same time. Q to farm, mana back, good trades with the stun as well. They can't like follow it up at all. Like kills are really easy to set up. Like you poke until they're low enough for your ultimate combo. flash ults can always turn a fight, and even from behind you can turn the game around with a good ultimate, but you do have like low mobility, and if you don't have flash, like, it can let you down a bit. If you get caught, you're kind of screwed, and without flash you can't really make a big dick play either. Let's go to the top lane now. This has been really turned into the land of like play whatever the hell you want. I don't know if you guys have really noticed it too or not, but if someone plays like a weird champion or a weird build, it normally ends up top lane and semi working. I'm not saying you should do that, by the way. It doesn't always work. Like, don't blame me if you play Vayne top and get screwed. Probably actually by a number 2 spot, which is Darius. It's hard to not put him up here when he's just so effective at crapping on people. Like, you are a lane bully, let's just point that out. You get behind and you're going to fall back on being a tank, which is not exactly the best because you have no crowd control or anything like that. It's not hard to get ahead though, really. Like, extended trades work because of your bleed. Burst ones work with abilities. After 6, you combine both with your ultimate and you kill people. Like, I guess you sustain at the beginning and then you kind of burst them down. It's really hard to recover against a Darius though, and I think that's one of the biggest things for me. You get behind and you're going to be dove a bunch all game. Without help, there isn't really much you can do, to be honest. He gets tanky while still doing crazy amounts of damage. At least with like a Jax or something, he builds damage. So there's like a chance he messes up and you can punish him. Darius has a heal, damage, and high health, so it kind of covers up all of that, honestly. And if he makes a mistake, he's probably not going to die for it. That is another thing though. Like, any dumbass can play Darius. Seriously, like, he has more to learn, like how to actually win your lane fully and then what to do in team fights. But pressing Q to heal and R to ult isn't exactly that tough. At first spot is only above Darius really because you're effective behind or ahead, and it's going to be Riven. Kind of convenient, right? That her championship skin, that's awesome by the way, just re-released, and she's probably the best top laner at the moment. I see what you did there, Riot. But seriously, she's very strong, and the thing I love most is watching a good Riven play. It's so satisfying watching someone who's fed their ass off all game but can still kill people by just outplaying and being better at their champion. If you get ahead, it is lights out, stack damage, kill people faster, plus bigger shield, and so slippery, like they can never catch you. If you get behind, one big play can get you back, pick up a few kills and you're back in the game. Like flash stun or flash knock up into ult can still work no matter what your score is. By the way, this is number 1 if you can actually play her. So like semi Riven main or like actually good at her or whatever. Like, it's not for some random player playing her for the first time. If you're good with Riven, then you can do so much work in a game. And even though Riven mains can be complete dicks, like by stereotype, a lot of super good at the game, and it's amazing to watch. Overall, you can win basically any matchup. High skill caps, you're constantly improving and getting better at the champion, more effective, and you're actually effective when ahead or behind. Plus, you always stand a chance of carrying. So let's go to supports next and leave AD carry till last. I don't think I've ever done that in a video of mine before, but we did just do a top 5 AD carries. Now, Blitzcrank is our second spot this patch and probably the most aggressive support that you can actually play right now. Blitz rarely ever gets buffed on nerf because it's down to you, like how effective he is. Miss hooks and you're going to be useless. Like, hit them and you'll get kills most of the time. And also there are very clear like pros and cons. Pros, you get easy kills and you set stuff up. Cons, when behind, nowhere near as good. Only aggressive, no real like defensive side of things, and most effective by far in the lane phase. Right now though, mage supports are back everywhere and they make super easy targets. Like, problem normally is when focusing the support, it actually takes too long to kill them, so the enemy AD kills you while you focus the support. With mages like Sona or Zyra or whatever, combined with Blitzcrank damage, they die so fast and the enemy AD can't really do anything anyway. Plus, we also have immobile AD carries everywhere, which is the same deal really, like very easy prey, but actually it has to kind of be partly because of the ADs that pair up with Blitzcrank now. So like Misfortune, Jinx, Jhin are the 3 most popular at the moment, and they're all very good with Blitz. Like, Misfortune just has insane damage to follow up. Jinx has the chompers to chain crowd control. Jhin has the burst and chain crowd control with your root, but overall the game has just become way more aggressive early. I think the ADs around him are better for him and it makes him much more effective even though he hasn't actually changed. Now, the best support this patch is actually going to be Janna, and I really hate playing with her. So for real, for me to put her first is making me feel a little bit ill. Someone who could also be here, I could have put her here, does basically the same job I think, but it's hard to ignore that Janna is the most popular support, like played the most and has the highest win rate at the moment. Your shield's AD is more than people give credit for. Like, you can go a bit more aggressive, and to be honest, Janna can be really good. The problem is a lot of Janna players sit back and do nothing in the lane phase, kind of like waiting for team fights or expecting to get carried, thinking it's enough to just like shield and that's it, and that's not really how support works. If she stands up in the lane phase though, tornadoes, uses autos, attracts attention, then actually she can be a lot better in lane than people think. You have your tornado to interrupt stuff, your shield, ultimate heal, and knockback. Like, they're all insane at keeping people alive, and her kit is majorly stacked if you use it properly. I might hate Janna because of the plebs that play her and leave me 1v2 in the lane phase, but I gotta admit that when played properly, she is like the most insane support and has so much impact. I guess if you think about Annie, right, easy to have an impact, hard to mess up. Janna is kind of the opposite in my opinion, easy to mess up and hard to have a proper impact. Saying that, she is probably the best support to just sit back and get carried by a team though, and unfortunately that is what a lot of Janna players do, and that is why I hate her. So finally, let's move on to our AD carries. Jhin and Jinx are in my opinion tied for second if you're equally as good at them. Like if you said to me, hey, I'm really good at Jhin and I'm really good at Jinx, which is better, I'd probably tell you Jhin, but Jinx is still really solid. That's not really how the game works though, and if you're just average at both, then Jinx is way easier, and that's why I'm gonna stick her at number 2. It's really what we just said about Janna actually. So Jhin is an easy champion to mess up and do nothing on, very skill shot based and experience on like when to go in with autos and when not to. Jinx is way easier. You just right click and you can legit win a game by just like right clicking, just doing that. You barely have to work for it at all. The big things for Jinx right now, the first tower pressure early, so leave her alone with your tower and it's gonna go. Like there's an extra first blood in her pocket from that with extra gold and even closer to full build. Very easy to play, like rockets and runins and crits will ruin a team fight. All you have to do really is not die and just stay in your form. You don't even have to swap between them that much. The ultimate damage is insane. That buff was not needed, but we all know the buff came because she's getting the Star Guardian legendary skin, and it gets you a lot more snipe kills now. Number 1 is going to be Miss Fortune then, and honestly I think she's actually in a tier above Jinx right now. I know it sounds weird, but Miss Fortune is so good. Lane phase is disgusting. You prep a minion at the back and you Q crit if they come close, or they have to zone themselves and just miss out on farm. Either way you're going to win that. She's very easy to play in the lane phase. Even if your support is pretty poo, you can still do a lot. Your ultimate damage is insane, especially later into the game. After playing her this patch though, I have to say a lane phase is just so easy to get ahead with your Q crits. Like you can do half of someone's health. Only Jhin and Ezreal are actually doing well against her at the moment, I think, and that's because they don't have to get anywhere close, which is kind of stupid. A love tap can destroy towers and champions. That damage is crazy. Hard to play against actually in the lane phase because she'll run up to you, hit you once, run away, and repeat for constant extra damage. I know not many people play her because she's not a traditional AD carry, but she is so amazingly strong right now and easy to abuse for some free low if you're looking to climb. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave your questions down below for tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching, but for now, let's go to the robots.